All right, Jake. So I've loved so many of your roles over the last several years. You've always bring something unique to them, whether it's weight gain, weight loss, ticks. What was it about Davis? I mean, there's always something really cool that you bring to these roles. What was it with Davis? What did you
Weight
want to
gain,
bring?
weight loss, and ticks. That sounds like sounds like a Brad Paisley song or something. Yeah.
What was it about Davis? Like, what did you want to bring unique to Davis to really make him authentic and make people connect to this guy who's learning to deal with grief?
I think what was unique about him and what is unique about him is that he's really sort of numb through a majority of the movie. He's trying to figure out how he even feels. He's like, and to me as an actor, there's a lot of internal work and internal sort of journey of the story is done by the director, by Jean-Marc. So you're in his mind, experiencing things in his mind, and as an actor, there's very little to emote, you know? There's a lot of things going on underneath, but I was never really allowed to bring that stuff up. It was a kind of a mandate from Jean-Marc. So to me, what I loved about him was that there was not a whole lot to play, but a whole lot going on underneath him.
I love the demolition scene, and it's such a pivotal scene in this movie. When you and Jude are destroying that house, talk to me about the process of that. Is it fun? Is it cathartic? What are you going through when you're just demolishing the heck out of it?
For those scenes, it was sort of the first time the character expresses himself, even if it's in a physical way. So it was really cathartic. It was fun, just like being that 3-year-old again, kind of like the one who kicks over the sandcastle he just built, you know? There is something satisfying in destroying something, but at the same time, what I learned when we're doing it is that it's so much harder to create something than it is to destroy it.
The evolution with Davis from beginning to end, we see this really numb guy who's not in touch with his emotions, not smelling the roses. And then by the end, obviously, we see the expression in him beginning to tap into himself. In terms of going internally for yourself, were there moments in your own life or moments in your own experiences that you were able to pull from to really connect with that character?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I have experienced loss in my life, but beyond that, I think, you know, I do walk around at times, and this movie has helped me even see that not even knowing how I feel. The thing about Jean-Marc is that as a filmmaker, he just tends to sort of bring you into a feeling. He'll go there first with you. Like, he'll kind of walk into a scene with tears in his eyes, and he'll move you into an emotional space without you even really realizing it, and say, like, I'm here with you. Like, I'm actually here feeling this with you, so it's okay to open up. And that was a really amazing thing to be a part of, to work with someone who's makes themselves vulnerable like that right before you do. But to me, I love the story because it's not this huge, like, cathartic epiphany where he kind of like has this massive realization. It's just a small, subtle change, which I think is much more like life.
You get to work with this brilliant kid, Judah. I mean, he is something else. Talk to me about building that chemistry with him, because I feel like the two of them are really, they're kindred spirits to a certain degree, both trying to figure themselves out and find themselves out, and they connect through that. Talk to me about building that chemistry and working with a young talent like him.
I mean, I think when you're working with a talented person in general, but when you're working with someone who's younger, particularly like a kid or even a young child, I think my mandate is always to follow them. You know, they're closer to something than we are, you know, something more honest, something more true. And so when they have the talent that he does, you know, my tendency is to sort of follow them through a scene. It's worked out pretty well. Yeah, I mean, that was, it was great fun too, because yeah, they're two guys who are searching for, almost like Davis was stunted at Chris's age, you know, almost like he stopped really knowing who he was at that age. And when Chris's character comes to him and asks him whether or not he thinks that he's gay, and Davis sort of guides him into realizing that he is, I think that's something that, you know, Davis never had anybody in his life saying, hey, you know what, you don't have to go this conventional route of marrying at this age and making money because people think that's what you should be doing or this and that. You can actually do what you want to do. And that's what he ends up doing at the end of the movie. And I think that's what Chris ends up teaching him, and I think that's why he ends up starting to feel, is because he knows who he is.